Okay, United States Office of Government Ethics. The United States Office of Government Ethics is an independent agency within the executive branch of the U.S. federal government, which is responsible for directing executive branch policies relating to the prevention of conflicts of interest on the part of federal executive branch officers and employees. Okay, right here, Department of Navy, headquarters, OGE. Okay, that's where we're gonna go, okay? Okay, now, this is what I keep telling people about public service. Public service is a public trust. Read the public trust doctrine. I already did a video on that, okay? And I'll do another one. Public service is a public trust, requiring employees to place loyalty to the Constitution, the laws, and ethical principles above private gain. This goes anybody that collects a paycheck through taxpayer dollars. Okay, that's public service. You get paid, and remember, public service. They're trustees. They're your servants. You are their lords and masters. Okay, but the only way anything's going to happen is if you learn all these laws and all these places I'm talking to you about. Okay, I'm not going to say much because people like to argue with me about ethics. And I just go by the law. They're not arguing with me. They're arguing with the law. And in some of these comments, they just don't bother to read the law that I post about. You can always research it yourself. Program Review Report for the National Labor Relations Board. Okay. FCC. The transparency made better by efficiency and innovation. Remember, this is a public trust. This belongs to you. Nobody can take that from you. Okay. See, nobody's going to tell you about any of the stuff I tell you about. I looked at my YouTube. There's over 100 videos. I haven't even begun, really, about the stuff that's in my head. But I'm an old guy, and I used to get this, go through a lot of books, find stuff. Laws, always interested in law, the history of law, history. The history of rule of law, the Magna Carta, democracy. I went back to ancient Greece. Okay, I'm just showing this to you. Okay, because remember, violating basic obligations of public service, those are ethical violations. When it comes to lawyers and judges violating the rules of professional conduct or the code of judicial conduct are ethical violations. If you violate the rules, you violate the code. If you violate the code, you violate the rules. They're interwoven. One can't be violated without violating the other. You can't violate one rule of professional conduct without violating others. You can't violate the code of judicial conduct without violating others. You can't violate the code of judicial conduct without violating the rules of professional conduct and vice versa, etc., etc. So what I'm trying to do is just to get you, instead of You argue when we get you to read it. Not all of you do. It's rare because, as you notice, I just read the law. If you can understand anything I'm saying, you can understand the law. It's just when you let learned, educated, seasoned professionals explain it to you, they have a tendency to use words that aren't even here. Okay. And it's when the Constitution was written, for the most sake, it was for the benefit of the common man, to where if he was barely educated, that they could read the law, and somebody illiterate could actually understand it. So it was supposed to be basic and simplistic, and that's what I love about the law. The simplicity of it is just that when you fail to trust your own eyes over what somebody tells you, you're wrong. No, just I'm showing you a lot of laws and hopefully encourage you to read them, use them. I show you places for resolution. Okay, I'm just showing you a whole lot of different stuff. OG and Office of Inspector General work together to protect the integrity of the executive branch programs and operations. Symbiotic relationship between the OGE and the Inspector General is vital to the success of our government. So I've been doing this for a long time. And the last time I was surprised I got answers from anybody. The only answer I got was from the Attorney Registration and Disciplinary Commission, now the Illinois Attorney Registration and Disciplinary Commission, and Judicial Inquiry Board. They didn't reply. No, they never replied. I was surprised the ARDC replied. And I didn't get a reply from the DOJ or the FBI until I went to the FBI's office personally and delivered my exculpatory evidence, because according to Rule 3.8, if the state's attorney is aware of exculpatory evidence, it's their legal obligation to exonerate that person. And they chased me out. It's not a wrongful convictions. They got mad because they said just give them a little note, and I had all these laws. As you can see, I seem to be somewhat well versed in them, and they said that's not the way we do things. Get in line, just leave us a short note, and maybe we'll get back to you. And I said, no, I just need somebody to go to the state's attorney's office with me and tell them to do their job in accordance with the oath they took to the U.S. Constitution, effective assistance of counsel, in the Sixth Amendment of the United States Constitution. And the definition of that is in the rules and the codes. So you would have to read the rules and the codes to understand, but okay, the executive branch ethics program readies for the presidential election. Conflicts of interest prosecution survey. Okay, so there's a lot of things you can find. I'm just trying to encourage you to look it up. Everything I talk about's on the net. It's the law. I grab it from legal websites and just read it to you. And all of you always comprehend everything I've said. Okay? can't replace anybody for not. The president is requiring everybody place loyalty to him, but in doing so, they would be defying the oath they took, the oath of public service, you know, basic obligations of public service. You know, your duty is to the Constitution and whom it was written to protect and serve, and that's we the people. Not to a politician, nor a political party. Definitely not to Wall Street. And in my other video, I talked to you about corporacy. Worried about that for a long time. I didn't think it happened. But it's been tried before. Mussolini did it, and Hitler did it. Corporate policies, everything that benefits the corporation, whether it be through politics or the courts. Everything to benefit corporations. You'll have to review my other videos to understand that. Thank you, and you have a good day. Wish you nothing but a long life and good health. God bless. May your Creator always be with you.